Well, today we pull out a perfectly good small block Chevy and we put in a slower motor. Why, you may ask? Well, if you look down in the pinned comment, you'll see my last video, which explains some things that I have going on in future videos. So now we're going to take this bad boy out. Before I take it out, I'll kind of explain the process I usually do. I made this as easy as possible. I welded on nuts right here. These guys just come right out. Radiator pops out. So I'm going to take probably the radiator out first. And then I'll get to the accessories, take all that out, take the headers off, and at the same time pull off the wires. And then pretty much you just unbolt it, pull it out. It's pretty easy. She's peeing. Well, I figured I'd take the time to show you guys this. Some of you guys will appreciate this. You know, I always, for my grounds, check this out. I'll weld a bolt to the frame, and that way I can just take my grounds and place them over the bolt like that. Then you just take the nut and put it on top. But what's cool is you take them all off, makes it pretty easy, right? But then you don't have to worry about losing stuff. So when you get all the connections off, you just go ahead and loosely do that with the nut, so that way you don't lose it. Same thing with the power. If you look right there, there's my power, and voila, I run everything off of this, off a nice big fat relay for the fans, and it works good. And when I say nice big fat relay, look at this. Is that not the most awesome relay you've ever seen in your life? That's how I run like all those fans off of one switch. It's baller. Got this from the slow boat from China. Got a whole bunch of these, and I love them. Here's the part number if you guys want to look them up. And here's something else that I really love. Is this fan assembly from JEGS. I think they still make this. I'll put everything that I take off. I'll kind of show you my reasoning for buying this and how it works. So let me show you how this works on my setup. On the back, it has these little bolts, which is pretty nice. So all I did was just make these brackets right here. And right here, I just welded, like I said before, I just welded a nut right there. And that's why, you know, even getting a cheap flux core welder like I had right there, this opens up possibilities to making stuff way more modular on your setup. Like all this stuff pretty much unbolts and goes back together very easily, no zip ties. So this goes around the radiator, you know, this way, and this side right here attaches to this top section, and this shroud fits perfectly over this radiator right here. I'll put the part number on this. This is actually another, I think this is either JEGS or Summit. I'll figure out exactly which one this is, but it fits around the entire thing, and it's really nice and slimline for the S10. So I'm gonna pull this out and I'll show you guys how this guy goes in here, because you gotta do some modifications to your setup to get this to work. So the radiator is out, and I'll show you guys exactly how this works. Right here, and this, I guess this is called the front clip area. I'm not sure what it's called, but you guys know. You have to cut this section out. You cut it flush with the support beam right there on both sides. You can see a little easier right down there where it's cut out. And that allows you to stick a lot bigger radiator up in your joint and guaranteed to stay cool on a 100-degree temperature, sitting there idling forever. And I made these guys right here, and these just keep the radiator back. And when they're back there, if you look, it's easier to see on this side, you can see that little piece of rubber. I use this piece of rubber right here to go underneath the radiator so it's not like metal to metal. And of course you got to get that piece of, I think that's part of your, the lighting for your S10. You got to make that so it's not pinched. But see how it goes up and down right here where it goes to the bumper support? It wedges in there perfect, and it comes at an angle. If it goes straight down, you don't have any space for your water pump. But when it comes down at an angle, it opens up a whole world of space underneath there, and it fits really far forward, farther than I think you can get one flush in there. I mean, some people, I mean, if you want to put yours up in there, that's fine. But the good thing about that radiator too is when you put it in there like that and it's up here, it actually sits higher than your entire motor, so it's really easy to get the air bubbles out. Like I said, I'm going to put all these part numbers for stuff down in the description below if you want to duplicate this setup. Up to you. Well, she's about there. This thing is pretty easy to take out, not going to lie. I've been taking multiple breaks, watching TV, and it still looks like she's coming out today. So I just pulled out the torque converter bolts, and if you think about it, this is kind of crazy. 1,000+ horsepower cars, pulling tires up, looking at the sky, flex plate to your torque converter, just three bolts, 1,000+ horsepower. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. Alright, so here's my tech tip. When you pull your motor out that way, you really don't want to have your whole transmission suspended on the transmission bolts in the back right there in your cross member. That is a lot of stress just pushing right there in your case, and it could potentially crack something. So what I do is I take a piece of wood right here to give it a little more upward force, a ratchet strap, and I go over here to this side, up and over, and do the same on the other side, and I get it really tight so that way you can still push it back and forth without having a jack underneath there, and you're also keeping the stress off those rear transmission mounts right there on your cross member. So that is my tech tip of the day. And if we go over here, check out my carefully orchestrated suspension bridge to get everything out the way. We have the regulator with the fuel, because if it drops down, it starts spilling fuel over the ground. We have the coil. Are we going to hook it? No, it's fine. Just move it right here to the suspension bridge of installation. Nitrous solenoid also on the suspension bridge. If you couldn't tell, I'm slightly proud of this. It's awesome. Man, I should have recorded taking the hood off. I did it all by myself. And I have hood clearance issues, so I had, look at this, had all these little things stacked up on each little section. I didn't drop one. Hood didn't go flying off, and I felt like a superhero, but if you don't record it, it didn't happen, right? Oh well. Hopefully I got everything clear. I got the torque converter bolts out, transmission bolts are out, transmission suspended, starters out, ground cables off, I have the oil line off. So she should be ready to come out. Now one little trick with this thing right here is you can't see. Let me get the light. So this guy is so far back there. If you just take this out and try to pull it out, it is a pain in the ass. So what I do, I just take the bolts off the frame from the mount, slide it forward, she comes right on up. That's the best way to do it. Well, she's out. I'm gonna call it quits for right now. That's enough for today. I gotta order some parts for the LT1. Got a couple of things, odds and ends, just small stuff like new collector gaskets, new gaskets for the headers, odds and ends like that for this guy right here. So I'm gonna order those, and then next week, my next video, this guy will be on the stand, and the LT1 will be right here. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, peace.